Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this episode, we're getting into the Bombergers Declaration PFG by Michters. I'm Tuck, and this is Bourbon Broke. So anyone that knows me or has watched the channel knows that I am a huge Michters fan. So I was really excited to get my hands on this Bombergers PFG. I've been wanting it for quite some time. And actually I've had the bottle for a while, but I haven't done any episodes recently. Back at the end of July, I was doing quite a bit of work travel. Then when I was ready to do some more episodes, I got this nasty infection in my right eye. It was all swollen and red, and I was looking worse than I normally do, and no one wants to see that, so just now getting back into it. But anyway, this Bombergers PFG comes in at 100.2 proof, which is a little lower than the normal Bombergers, which is generally 108 proof. There's no age statement on this, so I'm not sure about that. As far as the SRP, this comes in at $139.99. And as far as a secondary, this is only one I've seen in a store. A big shout out to Harry at B Liquors in Hobart, Indiana. Got me this one, but the only other places I've seen it is online retailers, and I've seen it as high as $599 on there. So the secondary is getting up there quite a bit on this one, but anyway, let's get into it and see how it is. So this Bombergers Declaration PFG is the third release in Michter's Legacy series, the others being the Shink's Homestead and the regular Bombergers Declaration. And for those of you who are not sure where those names came from or how they're associated with Michter's, it actually goes back to 1753 when a Swiss Mennonite farmer by the name of John Schenk started Schenk's Distillery. Then in the 1800s, that name changed to Bombergers Distillery. Then in the 20th century, the name changed again to Michters that we know now. So that's where that came from. But anyway, let's get into this and see how it is. I'm excited to get into this one. Let's see how this nose is. Are you freaking kidding me? Freaking bathe me in this shit. Wow. Wow. Caramel, brown sugar. There's some vanilla in there, but there's just a lot of Luxardo cherry, that dark cherry. Getting just a touch of cinnamon. Just a little bit of chocolate in there. I'm liking it. Chocolate covered dark cherries. Are you kidding me? Wow. That's fantastic. Wow. All right, let's get this on the palate. Get on that palate. Love getting it on the palate. All right. Wow. That's just freaking good. Wow. Still have that dark cherry going on in there, very predominant in there. Getting a dark chocolate mixed in with it. Brown sugar, getting a brown sugar caramel. Wow, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. There's a nice baking spice, like an allspice. Man. Wow. This is really, really good. You know, I generally like the Bombergers as well, and like with all series that comes out, you know, annually, it's up and down. For the most part, I really like them. The regular Bombergers Declaration, but this one right here takes it to another level. And what it is, the PFG stands for, you know, precision fine grain. And what it is, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon that was in, you know, brand new American white oak barrels, but then they transferred it over into barrels that consisted of multiple French oak staves. And from my understanding, the French oak is a tighter grain in the wood. And, you know, oak is an open grain wood. But in America, those grains are a lot larger than they are with the French oak. So there's a tighter grain in there. So that's where that precision fine grain name comes from. And it definitely has a different profile than the normal Bombergers. In this one, This is fantastic. Wow. This one did not disappoint whatsoever. Man, this is damn good. Man, get more of that oak coming in on the palate now as well. But if you like, you know, a good whiskey with dark cherry, a hint of dark chocolate in with that, brown sugar, caramel, some nice spice, this would be right up your alley. And that 100.2 proof is actually a nice proof point on here. And that's something interesting about Michters. You know, normally I say my sweet spot is like around 115, that 110 to 115, upwards of 120 is really my sweet spot. But I would say Michters is probably my overall favorite distillery. And a lot of my favorites in there, you know, are really low 90s to mid 90s. So it's really not a high proof. Like the, you know, Michter's 10-year rye, 10-year bourbon, some of my favorites, and they're a lower proof, but they raised it up a little bit on this one, 100.2, not as much as the normal Bombergers, as I had mentioned, which is normally 108, but this is a very, very nice proof point on this. Even people that don't like getting up a little bit higher proof, this would be right up their alley, you know, kind of acclimating them to a higher proof, I believe. This is nice. Definitely getting more oak on the finish on this. Almost a touch of black pepper on that finish as well. And that brown sugar that I was getting in the palate is almost more like a caramelized brown sugar, more of a molasses type note back there in the finish. I'll take this all day long. Without question, this is one of the best that I've had so far in 2025. No question about that. This is really, really, really good. As I say, I'm a big fan of Michter's anyway. I kind of assumed I would like it. I've seen a lot of really good reviews on it. So, man, I'm glad I was able to get my hands on this. As far as a rating, I'm liking it a lot. Man, I don't know. This is good. I'm going to go a 9.5 on this one. I really, really like this one. And, you know, the price point on it, you know, if you can get it around that SRP of $139.99, that 140, it's still high for a bottle. You know, I still really hate paying that much for a bottle, but this is a good one. You know, I would not pay, you know, those high secondary prices on this, especially getting up into $500 and some dollars. Is it worth that? Absolutely not. The most I would pay for this, maybe 160, 170, something like that. But if you can find it at that SRP or real close, I'd jump on it. Man, I might even, if I can find one out there around that SRP mark, I'll probably buy a backup of this one as well. This is really good. Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did drinking it, because I really enjoyed drinking this one. But if so, please hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything at all, and I really, really do appreciate it. If you'd like to check out some Bourbon Broke stuff, just go to bourbonbroke.com and check out everything on there. That's it for this episode, and remember, keep your friends close and your bourbon closer. Cheers, everyone.